All right, let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? You're trying to get an AI to do something that should be simple, but you're just stuck in this endless back and forth chat. It feels like you're talking to this incredibly powerful brain, but it can only communicate through like a tiny little keyhole. Well, what if that AI could build its own interface right in front of your eyes just to get the job done faster? That, my friends, is the promise of A2UI.
Just look at this. On the left, you've got the classic, painful text conversation to book a table. What day? Okay, what time? Nope, sorry, that's not available. It's just so slow and clunky. But then look at the right. The AI just says, here, and generates a simple, clean form. A date picker, a time selector, boom, you're done. It's an intuitive, graphical interface for the exact task you're trying to do. And this is the core idea we're going to unpack today.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter. We have these amazing AI agents that can reason and plan and use tools, so why are we still talking to them through these super limited text-only windows? It's kind of like having a supercomputer, but you're only allowed to use it with a rotary phone. There has to be a better way, right?
And that better way is this emerging pattern called A2UI, which stands for Agent to UI. At its core, it's an architecture where the AI agent itself can directly build and interact with a user interface. Now, this isn't just about spitting out a final answer. It's about visualizing the agent's entire thought process, explaining its decisions, and, crucially, letting you control it in real time.
What's so important here is this simple but really profound shift in thinking. The agent does the heavy lifting, all the complex thinking and acting, and the UI becomes this dynamic window that shows you exactly what's happening. But most importantly, it gives you the power to step in and guide it. It's really the difference between a black box and a glass box.
So how does this actually work under the hood? Well, it really breaks down into three core parts. First, you've got the agent, or agents. They're the brains of the operation, doing all the planning and execution. Then, of course, you have the UI. That's what you, the user, see and interact with. And the magic connecting them is the A2UI layer. Think of it as the secret translator, turning the agent's complex thoughts into clear UI events that we can actually understand and act.
Okay, so let's look at this from the first major perspective, A2I as a pattern for observability. You can really think of it as a window into the AI's mind. So instead of just getting a result and kind of wondering how did it even get there, you can actually watch the entire process unfold. That gives you so much more trust and confidence in what's happening.
And this window can show you way more than just a simple loading bar. You can see the agent's step-by-step reasoning. You can see the specific tools it's calling, like APIs or scripts. You can even watch conversations between multiple agents as they work together on a problem. And here's the best part. It can show you buttons to approve a step or override a decision. So you're no longer just a passive observer. You're an active collaborator.
Let's make this super concrete with a simple flow. Okay, so you click a button that says Start Analysis. The agent immediately creates a plan, but instead of just running off and doing it, the UI displays those steps right in front of you. Then the agent pauses, and the UI literally asks you for confirmation before it proceeds. You get to check its work before it moves on. This simple loop is an absolute game changer for control and for safety.
But, this idea builds even further. A2UI isn't just about observing an AI. It's also a format that allows the AI to generate its own UI. This second perspective, which is being championed by a new open-source project from Google, is all about giving agents the power to speak the language of user interfaces.
This quote from the Google team really gets to the heart of the problem they were trying to solve. In a world where you might have multiple AI agents from different companies needing to work together, you can't just let some untrusted agent send you executable code to render on your screen. I mean, that's a massive security risk. You need a way to describe a UI that is totally secure, like a simple data file, but still flexible enough to create these rich experiences.
And this philosophy is built on three pillars. First, and most importantly, security. A2UI is what's called a declarative data format. The agent can only request to use UI components from a list you've already approved. Second, it's LLM-friendly, meaning it's designed to be easily generated and updated on the fly. And third, it's framework agnostic. The very same A2UI message can be rendered as a native component on the web, in a Flutter app, in React, or pretty much anywhere else. Okay, so this all sounds incredibly powerful, but it's not for everything. Let's get practical and talk about when you should, and just as importantly, when you probably should not reach for an A2UI approach. Making the right choice here is really key to avoiding, over-engineering your project.
You should absolutely be looking at A2UI for any kind of complex agent-based system. Think about applications where an AI has to run for a long time, or in situations where human approval is absolutely critical, like in financial recommendations. It's also perfect for developer dashboards where an AI is writing and running code, or in regulated industries like banking and healthcare, where you need a complete audit trail of everything the AI did.
Now, on the flip side, A2UI is just total overkill for simple use cases. A basic customer service chatbot? No. A quick question and answer system? Definitely not. The takeaway is really simple. If your AI isn't doing any complex planning, or using external tools, or acting autonomously, just stick with a traditional interface. It's perfectly fine. This table really drives the point home. I mean, just look at the difference in transparency. Where chat is so often a black box, A2UI is designed from the ground up to be highly transparent. And that's a huge reason why it's naturally built for human intervention. When you're talking about serious, enterprise-grade applications, A2UI is just built to be the right tool for the job.
So where does all this lead? Why does this pattern matter so much? Well, when you combine these two big perspectives, the observability and the generative UI, you start to get a really clear glimpse into the future of how we're all going to interact with artificial intelligence. It's about moving beyond simple conversation and into true collaboration.
The benefits here are clear, and they really stack on top of each other. By making AI explainable, we build trust. By seeing all the steps, we can debug things way more effectively. By building in those checkpoints, we maintain human control and ensure a much safer execution. And all of this together is what paves the way for wider, more responsible enterprise adoption of this agentic AI. If you take just one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. A2UI isn't just another framework. It's the UI pattern that finally makes these powerful, autonomous AI systems observable, controllable, and fundamentally trustworthy enough to integrate into our most critical workflows. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If AI agents are truly evolving from simple tools into our digital partners, then the chat window just isn't going to cut it anymore. The real question we need to ask ourselves is, what will the rich, dynamic, and trustworthy interfaces for those future collaborations actually look like? A2UI gives us our first really solid answer.